everybody, my name is Melissa and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a very exciting video. I just hit 5,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel and I just wanted to thank you guys so much for either subscribing, giving my video a watch, liking any of my videos, commenting, all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate it. I started this channel very last of 2018. I think that's when I first put out my first booktube video, and ever since then, all last year, you know, I've been putting out videos based on books, and I've really come to find a wonderful, great community and a group of friends that I absolutely adore, and I am so thankful every single day for the ability to be able to talk about books and discuss things with you guys and all that stuff, and I really feel like I found my place on the internet and in this huge, big, wide world because of this channel. So I just want to thank you so much. So I went on my Twitter, my Instagram, and of course my YouTube to ask, you know, if you had any questions, things like that that you wanted to know about me that you didn't know before, you know, in, you know, celebration of reaching this milestone. So I have quite a few questions to get through. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the ones from Instagram and then, you know, move on to the different platforms. So let's go ahead and get started. I probably should have thought about these in like a certain order, but you know, we're just gonna like go with it and there's not gonna be any order. It's gonna be a little bit of mayhem, so just bear with me. Okay, so the first question is, what are some books you recommend during this period of quarantine? So basically, currently, I am reading Crescent City or The House of Blood and Earth or something like that by Sarah J. Maas. Basically, what I have kind of been doing is really trying to read books that take me out of, you know, everything that's been going on. So I'm really trying to fit in books that are either fantasy or, if they're contemporary, something that, you know, probably is not more realistic. So of course I've been sticking to my reverse harem books, and I'm currently reading a bunch of fantasy books or plan to read a bunch of fantasy books. I also did a recent video, I will link it down below, of my comfiest and coziest reads, books that I reread a lot and kind of like have found comfort in. So I'll leave that link below if you'd like to check it out. But yeah, I definitely find books that kind of take you out of your headspace and you can really dive into a whole different world have been really great for me personally. So yeah. Ooh, I really like this one. Okay, so the next one is my BTS bias. Okay, so I just started listening to BTS this year. I listened to some of their last album a little bit, but I really found out that I really enjoy this new album. I don't know, like RM said, it hits a little bit harder, and I have to agree. So my BTS bias has to be JK or Jungkook, which honestly, like, let's be real, I'm a little bit too old for, you know, these guys, but that's okay, that's okay. He's my favorite. He's just so cute and little and just adorable, and yeah. Just if I was like way younger or something, you know, that would be my jam. But yeah, definitely has to be him. I think he's so precious, can sing, can rap, can dance, can kind of do all. So yeah, definitely has to be JK. Okay, so this next question definitely is a little hard to answer. So it's, do you have a favorite book of all time? So let's see. If I have to think of a book that I have probably reread the most in my entire life, it would have to be the third Harry Potter book, The Prisoner of Azkaban. Due to the fact that I literally broke the binding of that book, I think is the first book that really, you know, is one that really transported me and really became like my first book friends, was that series. So I definitely would have to say the third Harry Potter book has to be my absolute favorite from childhood for sure. But yeah, it's really hard to choose. I really have a hard time picking favorite books because I just love so many. And to go along with that same question, what is my Harry Potter house? So I did take the test and I am a Slytherin. I don't really know if that's quite accurate, but yeah, I'm a Slytherin apparently, so yeah. So next is advice for small YouTubers or bookstagrammers. So basically my biggest thing is be as interactive with the community as possible and show genuine interest in what other people are doing. I I really find that if I can really open up and have a conversation, not like an open-ended conversation with someone, or try to spark that conversation with someone else, it definitely, you know, leads to more friendships. The biggest thing is I wouldn't go into any type of thing on social media expecting to, you know, grow really fast or anything like that, because I don't want to say I grew very fast, especially like my Bookstagram account. It's still less than 2,000, but I mean, honestly, do it if you love it, and really just kind of be consistent with your postings as well, which is something I definitely struggle with on my Bookstagram. Is I tried to post once a day, but there's definitely been many times I have lacked the consistency part. But I do find the more consistent I am with posting videos on my BookTube channel, it seems to grow a lot more and I get more interactions and things like that. So I guess that's the way the algorithm works. So yeah, just be more consistent and have genuine conversations with other people that have similar interests as you. So the next question is, what is your favorite or one of your favorite moments in a book? Oh my gosh, I definitely really should have looked at all these questions and thought about answers before I sat down and filmed this video. But here we are. Okay, let me think. Oh my gosh, so many things. Like I can picture like my favorite moment in a movie, but like picturing it in a book, I'm really having a hard time choosing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if so I'm gonna like change the question. So if it's a movie that's based on a book, okay, so in Pride and Prejudice, when Mr. Darcy is like helping Keira Knightley up in the carriage, and then he walks away and like kind of does that thing with his hand, and I don't know, it's just one of those like, oh my gosh, like profound moments, and like, I don't know, I just, every time I love that. I love that scene. But for a book, my gosh, like I honestly, I am not quite sure about the book question. I don't know, because I can't think of one. There's so many that are going through my mind and I just can't pick one. Okay, so next question is, what do you watch on YouTube other than BookTube? So I first started watching YouTube because I actually picked up a book that was by Zoe Sugg, or Zoella. So she is really the one that kind of like introduced me to YouTube. I know it was a whole thing before I even got on it or even thought about watching YouTube. I just never really had a desire to. So I found her book, found out she was a YouTuber, started watching her videos, got into beauty videos. So that's kind of like how all this started. So I don't really watch beauty videos as much. What I have been watching lately is like skincare videos and like different types of skincare and things like that. What I have been watching. Also, since I've discovered BTS, I've been watching a lot of like fan videos and some of their like BTS run things, all that kind of stuff, and like their old V lives. So yeah, just kind of like catching up on all the BTS stuff that I missed over like the last 7 years. So yeah. So the next question is one that I've gotten on YouTube questions that they had commented, also on Twitter as well as Instagram. So I'm gonna kind of like answer this all in one. So what is my profession? Let's see. So YouTube is not my full-time job. I definitely don't make enough money for it to be sustainable. I do have a part-time job and I work for a surgeon, a plastic surgeon, where we do a lot of reconstruction on, you know, post breast cancer patients, things like that. So the majority of what we do is reconstruction surgery. So I'm more of like the patient coordinator and, you know, arranging things with the hospitals and things like that. So I do that part-time. And before that, I worked in hospitality and the service industry as a manager. So yeah, which is very different, but the hours are much better and part-time. So I really do enjoy what I do, but I do work for a small business, and with all this going on, it's a little crazy. So yeah. So the next question is my favorite trope. Okay, so I do have to choose something that can go in fantasy or, you know, romance fantasy, or just romance, and that's going to be the bad boy. So really, because bad boy is so broad, you know, you can have like it in fantasy with, you know, Jude and Carden. Carden is the bad boy. You can just go straight to, you know, romance books, and then you have Tate and Jared in the Bully series, Follow-Away series, so he's a bad boy. Obviously all my dark romances, majority of those are bad boys, so really I really love a good bad boy romance in all of that, so that definitely has to be my favorite trope. Oh my god. Alright, my friend asked me, if your house was on fire and you could grab one book, what book would it be? Way to really just, oh my gosh, make this so difficult for me, Cassie, thank you. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Obviously, you know, material possessions aren't everything, and I can always, you know, repurchase the books that I have. But I guess, since it has to be my favorite book and it means so much to me, it would be my Prisoner of Azkaban copy, which is not currently at this house, so, you know, hopefully all is well where it's at. But yeah, I definitely would probably want to take that since it has just more of a sentimental value to me personally. And the last Instagram question is how to start my own channel. So my biggest thing is, you know, really just start it, begin it. You can start off with the booktube newbie tag, which is something I didn't do until like 4 months later. Really just do a lot of videos that really express, like, you know, the books that you like and the things that are kind of like going to set you apart from other people. So I guess once people understand your taste in books and things like that, they're more likely to watch vlogs if that's something you want to do. I don't know, that's how I feel like it worked out for me. So doing, you know, recommendations on tropes, things like that, that really can give people a good idea of, you know, what your reading taste is and if your taste and their taste are very similar. So that's kind of what I feel like. But really just start it. Just, you know, if you don't have a camera, that's fine. Pull out your phone, you know, do it that way. I know plenty of people that started off doing it that way as well. So yeah, you don't need some fancy equipment or anything like that. Yeah, just start it, and like I said, talk to people, engage with the community, and you will find your place. So yeah. Okay, so moving on to the Twitter questions. Let's see, Avery asked, who are some of your favorite booktubers and what has been your favorite video since joining booktube? Okay, so let's see, I can definitely easily answer my favorite video has to be my Kindle Unlimited vlog, just for the fact that during that week when I was co-hosting with a bunch of lovely ladies, the Kindle Unlimited readathon at the end of last year. It was just really special. You know, it was my first time hosting, and I was able to interact with so many different people who came together for the love of reading on their Kindles. So yeah, basically that was probably one of my favorite ones, even though I didn't find any absolute favorite books, but just the fact that I really just felt like I was connected to a bunch of people while reading during that week and vlogging my experience. I definitely have to say that was one of my funnest ones that I have ever done. So to answer questions about my favorite booktubers to watch, oh gosh, there's so many that I watch, and like I don't comment on all the videos that I do end up watching, but I think, let's see, Jess from Peace Love Books was the very first romance booktuber that I ever watched, and really found that, hey, like romance booktube is a thing, and it's not just YA and fantasy, you know, channels. And she definitely, you know, inspired me to be able to talk comfortably about romance books, just because like that wasn't as well received or well known, I guess, and not that many people have talked about it as much, I think. I'm rambling. Let's see, and I think one of the first like fantasy channels I ever watched was Daniel Green. So he does like fantasy news and things like that, but I definitely found him when I started researching more about the Wheel of Time, and he is a huge fan of the Wheel of Time and recently made it to like 100,000 subscribers, which is absolutely awesome. And from that I discovered Murphy Napier and a bunch of other different fantasy YouTubers. So yeah, definitely watch a lot of them. So oh my gosh. And then of course all the other, you know, lovely people that I've met online and things like that. I don't know. Those are the first like channels that I really started watching. So there's so many. There's so many. And if I even tried to like start mentioning them all, I would forget someone and feel absolutely terrible. Yeah. I'm like already freaking out about it. Okay, so let's see. Brie asks, what are my favorite types of booktube videos to watch? So let's see. I really like recommendation videos on different tropes, so that way I can kind of, you know, I know what trope I'm going into and it's not too broad. I really like those types of videos, and those are ones that I do myself. I also, if it's someone that I constantly watch their videos, I love watching their vlogs as well, kind of like seeing a little bit into their day-to-day life, because I'm nosy like that. And then what are some of your favorite tropes? So I already mentioned the bad boy, forbidden romance, dark romance. Of course you have fantasy, which is so broad in and of itself, paranormal romance, which that's something I'm kind of like getting back into lately. So yeah, there's so many. I love so many different tropes. I can't just choose one. So besides reading, what are some of my favorite hobbies? Let's see. So I really read, that's the majority of what I do. I have tried other things in my life, but I don't exercise, which is awful. I love eating. Does that count as a hobby? I love to snack, and I love the Chester's hot fries. So I don't think that's a hobby, but you know, we're going with it. We're going with it. Let's see. And the next thing that she asked there, how tall are you? Yes. So I'm actually like 5'9", 5'10", so I'm pretty tall. Yeah. That's how tall I am. So next question is wanting to know the process to try to build a channel like mine. The biggest thing is, honestly, like I said, is, you know, communicate with the community. Also, something that I didn't mention before when I kind of answered this question is participating in readathons or other things that other people are participating in. Things that you can really interact and have a TBR set for a video or things like that, because that's really joining the OWL readathon last year, you know, that's how I connected with a bunch of fantasy readers last year, and kind of like started talking with those guys, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, participating in bigger readathons, smaller readathons, things where you can like really communicate with the community, like I said. That's a lot of communication. So now I'm going to move into the YouTube questions that were posted or commented on my post, and I'm sorry, I'm looking down because my computer's down here. When did you get into reading romance, and what was your first romance book? Ooh, okay. Let's see. I've read romance ever since I can like remember. Even way before high school. In middle school, I was reading like YA romance books. Like Sarah Dessen was one of the big ones, I think, in like my 8th grade. But even before that, does Gossip Girl, the books, count as reading romance? It's definitely was like way too high of an age range when I picked it up, because I felt like I was kind of lost during a lot of it, and I don't think that a lot of the things that happen in that book would be so great to read today, or that book series. But yeah, I read all of the Gossip Girl books every single time they came out, and yeah, Sarah Dessen was a big YA contemporary author for me back in the day in middle school. So yeah. So the next question is, how did you discover romance novels, and what would you recommend to guys who are just beginning to get into them? Yeah, so like I said, YA contemporary was where I started. If anyone's getting into them, I would definitely suggest, you know, maybe trying out with contemporary romances. Especially now, I feel like they're becoming way more diverse than they've ever been before. And starting there, maybe with a character that is similar to yourself, whether that be ethnicity or if they play sports or something like that that you are interested in, you know, starting there and then kind of seeing where your tastes are and if you like certain tropes, and then kind of going from there. I'm a big believer in the Goodreads list. So I always search on Goodreads on different lists for different tropes and things like that if I'm looking for something new. So yeah, I would definitely, you know, we would try out that. And so the next question is wanting to know what I do to relax other than reading, whether it's my favorite TV show or a hobby. Like I said, reading is more like my life. I just realized, like, trying to think about things that I do as a hobby, I don't really have that many, that's kind of weird. But my favorite TV show, let's see, I have really loved Meteor Garden. I rewatched the show twice, the one on Netflix. Absolutely love it. Let's see, and then Schitt's Creek, I've been really enjoying that one as well, which I haven't finished yet because I just don't want it to end. I know that they're playing the new seasons now. Let's see, Stranger Things, love Stranger Things. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of TV shows I absolutely adore. I think one of the ones that I absolutely love the most before it got too weird was Lost. Like the first like 2 seasons, absolutely amazing. So good. And I remember me and my husband would watch those all the time. So yeah. So next question is, what age should I start reading for pleasure? What's my go-to romance subgenre? Is YouTube my full-time job? So I started reading for pleasure like back in middle school. Me and my friend, like in 6th, 7th grade, we would pack our books and sit at the lunch table and read our books. We were those people in school. Yeah, so I definitely wasn't part of like the sports groups or anything like that, or I was a reader in middle school for sure. Let's see. Subgenre has to be reverse harem, very niche, but it's always my go-to. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely adore that genre. And then YouTube is not my full-time job. I would love it for it to be, but unfortunately it's not. So when did my love of books develop? So I've kind of answered this. A lot of it definitely has to be middle school, because let's see, I picked up the first Harry Potter book back in middle school days whenever the first movie came out, and I really started reading those books and found my love of reading and being able to escape in the world and finding friends in my books. So yeah. So the next one is, there's 4 different questions, but I answered most of them except for the 4th one. So what music do you like? Can you name a song or artist that you've been liking the most lately? And do I like listening to music? So I freaking love music. Music has gotten me through so much in the past, for sure. I definitely was the type of reader for a long time to always have my headphones on, always have music blaring as I'm reading, but not as much now anymore, but I love music. I definitely, for the very longest time, I would pretty much only listen to like Breaking Benjamin and Five Finger Death Punch, those 2 bands for sure, a lot. Let's see, one of my favorite songs is Until the End by Breaking Benjamin, and then Coming Down by Five Finger Death Punch. But now I've been listening to a lot of BTS, much to my husband's not liking it so much. So yeah, a lot of BTS lately. So the next one is, any more RH Recs besides the one in the video besides the ones in the video that I mentioned. Let's see, I recently read one that I absolutely adored called Resurrection. Let me see. Yes, that's what it's called. So it's the first in a new series. I really enjoyed it. It's a dark reverse harem book, and a subscriber actually recommended it to me. So yeah, I definitely really enjoyed that one. It's one of the ones that I really liked in a long time. So yeah. Ooh, okay. So next one is, what is my biggest pet peeve? Let me think. Okay, so before working where I work now, I worked in hospitality and the service industry for 8 years. I was a manager. So the biggest thing is when anybody just talks down and is rude to people who are your waiters or any type of hospitality or service industry. I feel like a lot of times people look as servers or of the like as servants, and they're just very rude, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves, and it just bothers me so much when people are rude or very short or very dismissive. Not looking you in the eye when they talk to you is another thing, and then I guess like completely forgetting your name, which I mean, I guess I get it, but just if I'm wearing a name tag, it's not that hard. Anyways, I feel some type of way about it. So for my very last question is, who is my favorite author, favorite book, have I ever considered writing myself? So I have so many favorite authors. Definitely, I can't just choose one. I love C.L. Stone for her Ghostbird series, Academy series that she has. I have loved Holly Black's books that I have read. Let me think of Sarah J. Maas. I'm recently reading her newer book, but I absolutely adored the other books in her series. Yeah, so many different authors that I absolutely adore and love. I just can't choose one. Favorite book, again, can't choose one, can't choose one. So to answer the part about have I ever considered being a writer myself, one time, here's the story, one time in my senior year of high school, I wrote the story and turned it into my English professor, and he wanted to be a writer as well, so I really thought that, you know, he would encourage me or give me, you know, great feedback, things like that. Unfortunately, he was just like, this is terrible, you're not a good writer, and really just kind of like, I guess, crushed my, like, not dreams, but confidence I had in what I would write. And I know that's just one person saying that, but it's definitely something that had stuck with me, and I feel like definitely it's something that pops up into my head whenever I, you know, try to write anything. But yeah, I don't think I am planning on writing anything anytime soon or ever, but that would be really awesome if I could. So I thought that was the last question. Actually, I missed one. So the last question for sure is, how did you and your husband meet? Does he like to read too? Do you have any pets? So me and my husband actually met in high school. We started first dating when we were like 16. It was one of those like really awkward, like, oh, we like each other, but we're super awkward around each other. And yeah, we ended up dating through college. So we've been together for a very, very long time. I don't even want to count how many years. I think it's like 14 almost now, almost. Insane, if not more. I don't even want to think about it. But yeah, very, very long time we've been together. He does not read. He's more of a computer guy, does computer coding and things like that. So that's what he does. And I think, you know, he wants, whenever he's off work and things like that, I don't think he wants to read a book or something like that. So unfortunately, no, he's not a reader. So I had to have an outlet for talking to people about books. So that's why I created this channel. And then we don't have any pets. I really want a puppy. I send him puppy pictures and dog pictures on Twitter and Instagram all the time. Trying to maybe one day get one, but unfortunately we live in an apartment, and just potty training a puppy just like stresses me out thinking about it. So we have yet to get a puppy, but yeah, that was my last question. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching my 5K Q&A. Again, thank you so much for sitting through this video as well as listening to me ramble on, because I'm just so excited. I never thought I would reach 5K, especially you know, at this moment in time. This time last year, I had like 200 something subscribers. So it's just absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for liking my videos, commenting, talking to me about, you know, books on my Instagram, Twitter, and here on my channel, because this is exactly why I created this channel, to have an outlet to find people who had like-minded ideas and things like that and want to talk about books. So I really, really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. If you have any thoughts or opinions or recommendations for me, I would love to hear about it and chat about it in the comments down below. And I hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye!